we're going to start. Thank you so much for being here. First, I just want to honor you for being here this morning at 9:30 on a Saturday morning. It says so much about how you feel about your doTERRA business and where you want to be. And so first, I just want to honor you. Thank you again for being here. Now what I'd like for you to do is turn to either your left or your right, whoever you don't know, and introduce yourself to someone that you have not met yet. And if you're sitting by someone you know, then reach out a little bit further. Introduce yourself.
My name is Steve. I live in Chicago.
Awesome. Now what I would like for you to do is give them a high five and tell them your life is going to change today. Okay. All right. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Holly Orgill, and I'm a Gold Wellness Advocate on the EDGE team. So that's who I am, and we are all part of the EDGE team. And welcome if you aren't part of EDGE. These trainings are for anyone. So we are glad that you're here. So I have a few rules for us today. There's 3. First one is to be respectful. Be respectful of the ideas of those that are presenting, the ideas of those around you. And the second is to manage your devices. If you take a moment right now to either silence or turn your phones off, I welcome and invite you to do so. You also have a device right here that we need to manage. So be aware of other devices. And then the third is to be present. Because you are here, you have that shows that you are wanting to move forward in your business and in your life, and so to let go of any feelings of that wouldn't allow you to be here and be present and to learn. Now, next I would like to invite you to pull out any oils and get some oils on you. I've gotten my Intune, my balance on my feet. But if you like to get your either peppermint out or your frankincense out and raise the energy level here in the room, and if you see that someone doesn't have any oils, you would please share with your friends. All right, now that we've got our oils on and we're ready to learn, I'm excited to first tell you that one way that the EDGE team has decided, hey, if I can get your attention again, now that we're all excited, it's just the energy just raised. Oh, that was awesome. Do you feel it? That was great. That's what oils do. Okay, so one way that the EDGE team has decided to give back is through raffles here at our trainings. So we will be raffling off some oils at the end of the training, and all of the proceeds of the raffles will be going to the Days for Girls program. So I'd like to invite Sandra Hudgens to come up and speak with us. And she has some really exciting news. We've been doing this since, I think, December. Since we've started, which has been less than 6 months, we've had a lot of really great things happen. So
the donations just from the raffle have provided over 700 kits for girls.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to be really fast. Thank you. Okay. So if you haven't heard of Days for Girls yet, we're a nonprofit that sews feminine hygiene kits for girls around the world. And you're asking why? Why is that important? What does it matter? Can't they just use a rag or whatever? And I'm telling you right now, that's the problem. Because lots of countries all over the world have, especially in rural areas, girls don't have access to feminine hygiene, which in turn makes the girls not go into school, no matter how many schools we build for them, no matter how many uniforms we send to Africa. They're still not going to go to school if they are worried about leaking through because they're so shamed in their community for being a woman in the first place. So then they, in turn, they drop out of school, they get married off early as child brides, and the problem keeps perpetuating itself. So the cycle of poverty never ends, and we keep wondering why. We're donating lots of money and stuff to educate girls all over the world. And it is a big problem that lots of people who work in global poverty know, and they don't know how to solve the problem. Well, I'm telling you, a kit can solve the problem, which is amazing. And we didn't know it would work that dramatically when we started. And it turns out now the girls have no excuses for not showing up for school. And when they do distributions, then the teachers go, now I have to see you at school. So then the girls know how to keep them clean. And when we distribute with a beautiful training that comes with it. Teaches the girls that they have a right to their own bodies, which is a big shocker for a lot of girls. The percentages are really frightening. In Africa, girls under the age of 12, there's 70% have already been sexually exploited. So the numbers are staggering, and if we can train the girls to have pride, to walk with pride, because not to be shamed because they're a woman, but to feel good that they're creators. And so when we do the training, we teach girls to rise up and take your place in the community to help your community. And they can do that more when they're educated. And it starts with something as simple as this kit. And so we just spend, and Holly's been so great. Every time we've raised a lot of money in these. And so every time she does these raffles, we've been able to create kit after kit after kit. And it's magical. I was telling her, every time you guys donate, I happen to catch some awesome sale I never would have got in a million years. And underwear goes on clearance. And I'm like, what? This is crazy. So we just put out tons and tons of kits. I just did a big event at Timpview High School. We had 200 people there. All the boys were cutting. We talked to the boys about the program and why it's important that girls stay in school and how that can benefit them. They were awesome. I had football players on the snap presses. It was great. Anyway, so yeah, so it really it's a community lift. So this is what the kit looks like. We do 2 waterproof shields. We do 5 flannel liners. We give them underwear because a lot of the girls have never seen it before. And then we give them washcloth and soap, and we teach them how to wash and clean it and keep it clean. So just this month, we're getting ready to send 500 kits through a doTERRA person, but she's going privately to India, and she's going to work with a group that has been rescued from sexual slavery. So we do work with, we have been in contact with our Underground Railroad, who rescues children out of sexual slavery, and so we're getting ready to do a big one and do 500 kits, which we have never done in 1 month before, but I think we can do it. I think we can do it. 1 month, yeah. So we can sew very quickly. So thank you so much for inviting me, Holly, and thank you so much for all you've done for our team in Provo. And thank you. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, well, since I started coming and just speaking, we've done 700 kits, which means 700 more girls are going to school and staying in school. So 20% every year they go to school, stay in school, it's a 20% increase in their livelihood later on. So the statistics are crazy. You get on the Days for Girls website and look at some of them, you'll be astounded what this does. It's crazy. Okay.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
One other thing that we could possibly do if you're interested in bringing supplies to the trainings, some of the supplies that they're looking for are dark colored washcloths that you can get from Walmart for like $3.50 for about 18 washcloths, Ziploc bags, the gallon size, girls dark colored briefs sizes 10 to 16, and hotel size soap. Okay? Yes.
You know, how would it be if you had a donation box out there besides the raffle that we could bring these supplies?
And that's what I'm saying. If you would like to bring supplies,
Yeah.
right, we will get them to Sandra.
I do have 2 little papers outside that has that list on it. And, oh yeah, you got it. Okay, everybody got it. So yeah, and so much. I appreciate
Thank you.
guys. I'm sorry, I really want to stay. I have a family wedding I'm supposed to be in
Like in 20 minutes.
Isn't she awesome? We love Sandra. So tickets for the raffle, 1 ticket is $5 and 5 tickets for $20. And if you're also interested in donating oils for the raffle, then I would appreciate that too. And that's another way that you can give back. So with no more, we're going to move forward. And today we get to hear from Brenda Petru, which I'm so excited to get to learn from. Brenda is a Gold Wellness Advocate in doTERRA, and I have a really awesome bio that I would like to read to you. When I read it, I was shocked to hear her life story. So this is just a piece of her. Brenda was born in Pennsylvania and moved 10 times before she was 12, settling in a small town just outside of Idaho Falls, Idaho, in time for junior high and high school. When she was 17, she started writing songs at the encouragement of her father. She produced a Christian contemporary album of original songs called Turn Around under her name Brenda Andrews in 1991 when she was only 19. Brenda traveled around singing and speaking when she graduated from Ricks College and received her mission call for her church to Knoxville, Tennessee a year later. Life has a way of knocking people around, and life was no different for Brenda. She married a close friend from high school after her mission, but somehow neither of them were prepared for adulting at a high level. Finances were tight, relationship and positive thinking skills were low, and Brenda was easily impregnated, bringing 4 wonderful children into the world in 5 years' time. Yes, we did know how it happened, she says. You can kind of see her personality in this a little bit. This is fun. Through her intense sadness, pain, and trauma, the marriage finally ended in divorce after 10 years. Brenda was introduced to essential oils at a business women's luncheon in 2009. At the time, she and her current husband, Tim, had been married 3 years, each having brought 4 children to the family, all of whom were between the ages of 8 and 18, with 6 children living in their home. This is so great. They had children in 5 different schools. Brenda was exhausted, stressed, and wondering how to make it. When she had balance wiped onto her forehead by a woman named Natalie Goddard, 2 things happened, she says. First, I had an immediate emotional response. I thought, I might cry. I quickly got that under control, and my second impression was, these will save your life. I was intrigued. The next day, Brenda attended a class where she could learn more. She got started using the oils, but had no intention of building a business. She was so tired and busy with Tim's job, my existing business, all the kids, our own emotions and health problems. All we wanted was to feel better and not start another project. But being a mother and stepmom to 8 kids means lots of opportunities to use the oils, and she did. Imagine her delight when they worked. That's awesome. Not only for her and her children, but also for others. This natural sharing led to more and more people joining her team, and ultimately to Tim and Brenda both realizing that they wanted to be more involved in doTERRA as a business and to develop themselves as leaders and mentors. Their experience using the oils to assist in the raising of their children, worked with their team, and releasing stuffed emotions due to years of stress. Since that time, they reached the rank of gold, and Brenda has become an AromaTouch Technique certified instructor. Brenda now offers mentoring to those who are ready to let it go and get unstuck using the power of words and oils in her life. In her life story transformation classes. She is currently writing a parenting book about second marriages with children, and she plans to entitle, Will It Blend? Please welcome Brenda Petru.
I wish I had a pop-up. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Can you guys hear me okay? Awesome. So that story is true, and I was listening to it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's like, oh. So I hope it was as meaningful to you as it was to me. So I have a clicker. Like, this is so fun. So. My name is Brenda Petru. You guys just heard a little bit about my life story and kind of where I came from. Today, what I want to talk to you about is belief, and the power of words, and how your words are creating your life. And I want to start out by talking a little bit about, well, actually, the first thing I want to do is toss some oils around. Because this has been a huge piece of transformation in my life, has been the oils. When I was first introduced to them, as you know, I was very, very stressed. And I didn't know really almost anything about anything, but I remember my upline, which was Mark Garrett, actually, telling me that these oils, they have a vibration to them, and they will, like, you can put them on and stuff will start to change in your life. And I just hoped that was true because I needed stuff to change. I was very, very stressed. I was very tired. So I brought all the oils from a blend that Desiree Mangadog made, which is called Out of Darkness. And I'm going to pass them around one at a time kind of throughout the presentation. And I'm going to tell you why she put each one of these in the blend. So the first one I'm going to pass around is bergamot. And I guess we'll keep the lids together, right, somehow. So bergamot actually is the oil of self-acceptance. And this is a great place to start when you're talking about changing something in your life. Self-acceptance is a huge piece of what you need to, because you are where you are. For good or bad, or for better or worse, or for whatever, you are where you are. And you're in that place. And so you want to come to a space of being able to accept, where you are, to be able to start off. And the second one I'm going to give you is ginger. And the reason I'm giving you ginger is because ginger is the oil of responsibility, taking personal responsibility for your life, for what's happening in your life, and for the choices that you've made that have brought you to the place where you are right now. And the third one I'm going to give you to start off with is lemon, which is the oil of joy. And this will help to restore feelings of joy. So pass these around, put them on, and just get ready, because we're going to go for a ride here. Yes. So for her blend, she has it, and you can actually find her on Facebook, and she'll send you the recipe. But because we're recording this and she's asked for it not to be published, I'm not going to give you the actual recipe. But she makes it as a blend in a roller ball. And I recommend, if you're not friends with Desiree, it's Desiree, Mangadog, Mangendog. Find her on Facebook, and she will be happy. This blend is called Out of Darkness. So you're welcome to find that from her. So the power of words. Words we think, words we speak, words we write. And we live in a time when we are creating at such a rapid level, but what are we creating? And do we realize the power of what it is that we are doing with what we're currently working on? Let's talk about the words we think, thought power. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is a proverb. You've heard it before. You've probably read James Allen's book, As a Man Thinketh. If you haven't read it for a while, read it again. Think about it. Because as a man thinketh truly in his heart, that is what he is. Your mind is a garden, your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. You get to choose. What is it that you want to plant? What are you putting into your garden? The garden of your mind. I love this quote from Louise Hay. I don't fix my problems. I fix my thinking, and then my problems fix themselves. So I'm going to tell you a little story about marriage. So marriage has not been a super easy thing for me. I don't know why. I'm too independent or whatever. Anyway, what's not to love, right? But somehow in my first marriage and then also in my second, I managed to create some tough situations. And I'm still married, and I'm happily married, so I'm going to give you the end of the story first. But even as short as 6 months ago, I was still very much struggling in my marriage and wondering, why am I doing this? Why am I still doing this? We have all these people, and of course, I didn't want to put my kids through another divorce. That was awful. I do not recommend it. But I really wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. Well, I hired a mentor. Her name is Becky Rogers, and she taught me about life story transformation. She said, you got to change the words that you're speaking. So a lot of what I'm teaching you today is what I learned from her. And she taught me to change the words and then to actually write a new story, like write a story. Do we write anymore? I feel like we're losing like this whole section of our society because because now we text, right? And we don't even spell whole words. Right? So this was an idea of writing, where we are actually going to write a new story. So I wrote this new story. I wrote this beautiful story about my marriage, about how fantastic it was, about how my husband and my kids get along, and all these things. And then I would listen to the story, because she had me record it and listen to it. And then I was mad, right? I'm listening to my story, and I'm mad because that is not true. My conscious mind is totally yelling and saying, that is not even true. That is not happening. So I called my mentor, and I'm like, this is not going to work, because I'm so mad about this story, even though it's what I want, this happy family, this peaceful, situation. But even though it's what I want, I'm mad when I read it to myself. And she started laughing. How rude is that? She started laughing, and she said, no problem, just don't listen to it when you're awake. Like, just turn it on and go to sleep. So I thought, okay, I hate her, right? So I better do what she says. So I did. I took my recording, and I just started listening to it before I went to bed. But I did not want my husband to hear anything I had to say that was nice about him. Isn't that rude? That's so sad. But I didn't want him to hear that, because then he might think that I should be acting different or something. I don't know what I was thinking with that. But pride and blame. You guys have any pride or blame? Has that ever happened to you? I'm pretty normal, right? So we have pride and blame. Anyway, so I told him, because he's a night owl, I'm a morning dove, and so he's always up later than I am. So I told him, if you come to bed and my story's still playing, you just turn around. You walk out of the room, and you come back when it's over. Because I didn't want to hear any of it. I don't know if he did or not, because I was asleep, right? But he's a very patient man, and he's a nice man, so he probably actually did walk out of it. So it took a while, but within probably the first month, things started to significantly shift. I started to consciously notice that my husband actually was getting along with my kids a little bit better, that he wasn't trying to antagonize them so much. I noticed that they were respecting him, and that he was respecting them. And stories about money and stories about all kinds of different things started to shift. And the other thing that I noticed, so then I listened to it out loud, and I was like, wow, that's like in my story. I put that in there. So what just happened? What just happened? I wrote a story of what I wanted. I started listening to it in my sleep, because I was too obnoxious to listen to it out loud. And then stuff started to change. Why? Did stuff really change? I would have proposed that it actually didn't change, but that I changed. What I was focusing on changed. And what I was thinking about started to change, and I started to notice. Because did we all, if anybody who's married, did you guys all marry a human? Like a mortal? I did too, and sadly my husband did as well. So changing the thinking, and then the problems start to fix themselves. Suffering is always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. Always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. I've done a lot of suffering. Some of you may have also experienced a lot of suffering. And so you need to know that this is actually the effect of wrong thoughts. It is an indication that the individual is out of harmony with himself, out of harmony with the law of his being. So if you're experiencing some suffering in your life, yay, now you know, you're just thinking poorly. And I'm going to help you fix that today. Okay, so we want to talk about belief now. These are also thoughts in the thoughts section. So have any of you heard of Steve Siebold? Yes, awesome. I love Steve. He's like brilliant. He wrote a book called The 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. Don't you want to know what's in there? It's good. We actually used to do a call every morning. This was another thing that really significantly helped me to change my thinking, was by reading these every day. Because I was reading them, I'm like, yep, not a champion. Right here, not happening. I'm not a champion. I got to change my thinking about this. So champions develop world-class beliefs long before they become champions. One of the major distinctions between average performers and champions is their belief system. Like champions, average people tend to be a product of their mental programming from childhood. People of influence such as parents, teachers, coaches, religious leaders, and others were the primary builders and shapers of our early belief systems. In most cases, this programming is limited because it comes from people who believe they are limited. That's why average people are saddled with a set of beliefs that are more about survival than success. That's interesting, isn't it? Average people have been programmed to avoid pain at all costs which produces a playing not to lose mentality. Think about that, right? Avoid pain, play not to lose, right? Play not to lose. Is that the same as play to win? No, that's like don't lose, don't die, right? That was my big goal at one point, was don't die, like live. Survive, get through this somehow. The kids are all going to grow up eventually. Champions learn how to develop these empowering beliefs, and they invest a substantial amount of time solidifying those beliefs, mostly through their own self-talk. With guidance from coaches and mentors, they monitor the words that they use. Are you excited? I'm like giving you champion training. This is awesome. So you're going to monitor the words that you use. Some people even consider this a positive brainwashing process, which was probably what I was doing when I was turning it on in my sleep, right? Give myself some new thoughts to be able to do this. But once champions realize that this is a power that they have, it's like a revelation. It totally changes their situation. They realize that a world-class belief system can be created from scratch, no matter what your age, what your upbringing is, or your current lot in life. And it's the primary factor of making a champion. The truth is, so average people see champions as more intelligent, but champions know better. Belief is actually the hero in this. It's about what you believe. So here's a picture of the evolution of a belief system. Parents, teachers, coaches, ministers, friends, relatives, all of them are influencing a child, and they say this is fact. The child then accepts those elders' perception of what is fact, even if the elder is completely wrong. The child unconsciously ingrains these beliefs in his or her subconscious and builds habits accordingly. He or she grows into an adult operating under dozens of faulty beliefs and habits, is not necessarily aware of it, and then the adult operates under false and limiting beliefs and sets invisible boundaries for his or her life at an unconscious level. So this is super powerful and is going to require another oil. Right?
Is this already part of the blend?
We're going to need this. Yep, this is still part of the blend. This is a picture. If you have done any training with Kirk Duncan, you may have actually seen this slide before. Well, not this one, because I actually drew this out for my kids. This was a family reading lesson. And you notice there's 6 things. There's only one on there. I'm not going to tell you what they are today. Sorry. Okay, so, but I want to explain the slide because it goes with the oil here. So in the middle, we have the present. This is what is now. You have your amygdala in your brain, which is part of your limbic system. It has to do with your emotions. And Kirk teaches that if it's clicked backwards into the past of what has been, you create this cycle. What's the energy that you live in right now? You're going back into the past. We have experiences, right? We have reasons to believe what we believe. We've proven it. How many times, right? So that's in the back, in the past. It's motivated by fear, and we can go dig into that past, pick up that fear, bring it right into the present, and create the same experience over and over again. Isn't that cool? This is called repeat life, and we always have a choice, right? You choose right here. Or you can focus on what will be in the future. Well, what will be in the future? It's about what you choose. So you put that goal out there in the future, and you're going to then take that energy that's in the future of when you've hit that goal. And Seth and Rod teach us this all the time, right? In our very first beginning stages of doTERRA, he has us go and write for a week, for 10 minutes every day on what will happen when I reach my goal. Right? So we're grabbing all that good energy. He also gives us a little bit of the repeat. What will happen if we don't? Right? What will happen if we don't? Then you can scare yourself to death. So you'll do it. Okay, so this is the hope. So you're going forward, and this is the creation life. Okay, so what I'm giving you, because now you have a choice to make, I'm giving you peppermint to remind you that life is happy and that you don't need to be afraid.
Is this part of the Out of Darkness blend?
This is part of the Out of Darkness blend.
I don't think it's going around.
Oh, keep going. Where is it?
Yes, oh, you guys here didn't get it? It's,
All of us, this side of the room.
Oh, we need it on that side of the room, too.
how did we get it?
I'm also giving you juniper berry, because juniper berry is the oil of the night, and it dissolves fears.
They're right there.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you caught that. That's awesome.
No, those things are-
Juniper berry, so peppermint, Peppermint reminds you that life is happy and you don't need to fear. Juniper berry is the oil of the night and it dissolves fears. And frankincense, because this is going to reveal deceptions and false truths so you can start to look at them and face them. And you already have the ginger taking responsibility, right? And you got self-acceptance, so you're going to be okay when you see these. Okay. Juniper berry is the oil of the night, and it dissolves fears. And we want to dissolve fears because what does fear create? Repeat life, right? Okay, so we're dissolving fears here. Okay, here's your action step besides putting on oils. Here's something that you can do in writing. We're not going to actually do it right now, but I want you to take a picture of it. Do this as homework. Make a list of your most closely held beliefs. Some of them will not come to your mind readily, so you're going to have to listen to yourself this week and figure out what you believe. And begin the process of questioning whether they are serving you or holding you back. Are they serving you? Are your beliefs serving you or are they holding you back? Question their validity. Are they relevant? Are they out of date? Knowing that behavior follows belief, give yourself an opportunity to discard or upgrade any beliefs that limit you. That's also from Steve Siebold. You do that. Action step there. Okay? So you're going to want to do that. So let's now talk about conscious creation. Have you heard of visualizing? Everyone visualizes it. Visualizes, whether they know it or not. Visualizing is the great secret of success. Did you know it's also the great secret of failure? How many times are we thinking about what we don't want instead of what we want? Where are you focusing your attention? The conscious use of this power attracts to you greatly multiplied resources, intensifies your wisdom, and enables to make use of advantage which you formerly failed to recognize. So remember when I was listening to my story? Get out of your way so you guys can hear the joke. Remember I was listening to my story, and what did I say? Did my family change? No, they might have a little bit because I changed, right? So sometimes there were some things, but really what changed was my thinking. When you change your thinking, you attract greatly multiplied resources, it intensifies your wisdom, and it enables you to take advantage of not things that weren't there before, but that you formerly failed to recognize. You couldn't see them. You couldn't see them because you were stuck in that other kind of thinking. So now, are you getting excited? Have you heard of a magic lantern? It's an antique projector, basically. There's slides that go in it. You put a light behind the slides, and then it projects up onto the screen. Isn't this cute? Cute little kids. So this actually is going to bring out another couple of oils with our belief power. Oh, this one actually is back on the limiting beliefs. So the first one I'm going to give you is the eucalyptus. I mean the sixth one or whatever number we're on. Is eucalyptus. This is also part of the Out of Darkness. This is the oil for wellness. It helps you to let go of the victim mentality. That one's a hard one to let go. We like that one, right? It's not my fault. It's somebody else's fault. It has to be somebody else's fault. It wasn't me. I would never do that. Right? Yep, it is not my fault. But when I use eucalyptus, then I can come and look at it, right? Is it ginger, eucalyptus? We're letting go of the victim mentality, taking responsibility for our own lives. Clary sage. This one I love. It's the oil of the week right now, right? It's all over Facebook right now. Helps you to change perceptions and see your limiting beliefs. That's a good thing to be able to see, right? Okay, this one that I'm also adding in here, because we're doing all this heavy stuff, I'm bringing in some ylang ylang, because that helps you connect with your inner child and see the magic. That goes with the magic lantern, right? So the picture, the slide is in here. The light behind it, that's your will. That's what you're going to hold it with, right? So you can see that light. If you don't have good will, like if your will isn't strong enough to be able to focus on that picture that you're creating in your mind, you won't be able to project it into your reality. So you want to build and develop your will. What is it that you want? That's part of your will. We kind of have gotten away from that because we like to think that we're selfish or something. when your understanding grasps the power to visualize your heart desire and hold it with your will, it attracts to you everything that you need, because then you become in alignment with the vibration of what it is that you're wanting. Okay, so when you take that picture, you get that mental picture. Can you do that slide again? There you go. You take that mental picture, you put that visualization, you put your will in it, you add your faith to it, your hope, your creation cycle that you're creating, and then that actually is going to create the exact reality in the physical world. Take pictures fast. I got to move along here. I want to go to Kelly. Okay, let's talk about the power of words. Words we think, words we speak, words we write. Let's talk about the words that we speak. I think that's where we're actually on. Your words become your world. What are you creating? So here's a little, I'm going to give you a little download for your brain. This is the question to ask. You got to start listening to yourself. Sometimes we just like, blah, 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 we say stuff and you don't hear a thing that we say. But our kids hear it, and other people in our teams hear it. So when you hear yourself saying something, ask yourself, is that what you want? And if the answer is yes, keep saying it. But if it's not what you want, don't say it. Don't say it. What do you want? What do you want? This is important. Start thinking about it. What do you want? And this is such a hard question for me. Such a hard question because I had all those kids and I had all this stuff to do and there were so many dishes and the laundry was ridiculous. And I had no idea what I wanted. I just wanted to not die. That was really seriously for a long time. It was just like, I just want to get through today. Can I survive? Can I not kill any of my kids? That would be awesome too. Talk about your conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is little compared to your subconscious mind. You guys already know this. But your subconscious mind runs all the programs that are going on. And you might actually be being run by data or programs that were installed a long time ago that are no longer serving you. And that's why when you go through that exercise of what is it that I believe, what do I want, all of that, you're going to be looking into these pieces and start to notice what's happening in there. I've heard it compared to an ant and an elephant. Your ant is like the subconscious mind, and your elephant. Think how much power is in that thing. Your elephant is your subconscious mind. Your elephant, there's so much strength there. There's so much power there. Can you train that elephant? Can you train him to do what you want him to do? So a lot of times when I'm coaching people, they run up against these walls or these blocks in their mind, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I can't keep doing this. Or it's not working. Or what's the other one? It must not be meant to be. Right? Because it's hard. What? I don't get that. Anyway, my kids sometimes will say, well, it's hard. And I say, and? So? So here's your elephant. You have this resource in your mind. It's available to you if you can learn to train it. And what we're talking about, the exercises I'm giving you, the oils, of course, those are helping you to train that elephant so that you can get that huge wellspring of human potential. Okay, we're going to download a new program. Okay, we're going to actually do this. So, like, you can take a picture of the slide if you want to. But here's what it looks like. It's a hearing aid. Okay, so you're going to put everything down, shake out your hands a little bit. So I really believe that changing your mind requires your whole body to be able to help with this. So there, you have 5 senses. I'm not going to have you taste anything. Maybe I should have had you taste the peppermint or something. But we're going to try and put in all the rest of them. So we're going to do a little kinesthetic work with your hands. You're going to build, I don't know if I can do this with a microphone. You're going to build this little hearing aid for yourself. Like sculpt it. It's narrow on the one end. It's got the bell on the other end. Just make it with your hands. Do it. Come on. I'm serious. So you're making this, like, look at it. You see it? How it's a little bit bigger. You're making it over here. Okay, now hold it up. Once you get it built, hold it up and stick it in your ear. Okay? And now the question is that what I want? So whenever you hear yourself say something, as you're listening, you can put your hands down now. Unless you want to keep listening. Whenever you hear yourself saying something, ask yourself that question. Is this what I want? Is that what I want? Did I just say something that I want? If yes, keep saying it. If no, don't say it or stop saying it, right? So you can do that. So now every time you hear yourself say that, you're going to just like stick your hand up here and be like, wait, is that what I want? Okay, that little program is now downloaded into your brain. We'll talk some more about the power of words. This time we're going to talk about words we write. When you take words and you put them into paper, you make a book, you post up something on Facebook, you write in your journal, you write a paper, whatever, you're taking them from the virtual world, so to speak, like the imaginary world, and you're bringing them into the physical space. Now you think about this. This is a really cool thing because what if no one had kept track of history, human history? What would we have? What if no one had taught us, like what if we didn't have a written language? How difficult would the communication get to be over time? Because we lose all these pieces. So I know that there are whole cultures that they just told stories. And that was how they kept their culture was with these stories. But how do you tell that many stories? And what if somebody forgot? One generation, they like forgot a whole section of stories. They're gone. They're lost. But when it's written, it's like you've written it in stone. You've made it permanent. You've made a record. You've made a... So what are you writing? What are you writing? Mostly, we write on Facebook. We're texting. What do we post on Facebook? What are the words that we're putting out there? Are we creating what we want with those? Number one thing I see, I've actually unfriended people who are super negative because I have enough stuff going on and I don't need their negativity too, and they're just like blasting it out to the world. Be the whole world allowing this to occur. So what are you contributing to that? I hope that you're posting things that are building and lifting and encouraging and motivating. Okay, so we're going to talk about getting the junk out. Because we do have junk. We do not want to get it out on Facebook. Okay? That's not where we get out junk. There's a tool that I like to use. It's the Black Journal or the Black Book. Do you ever hear negative words? Do you ever hear voices? Not like the voices that make you go to crazy school or whatever. But like, do you hear those voices? I love how Kirk Douglas calls them the dot people, right? They're like chasing you around, telling you all these negative words. When you hear those voices, write them down in your book, in your Black Journal. Why? Because, well, I use this because it has a lock on it. I'm putting them in a prison here, so they're stuck. But I'm also analyzing them because guess what? Whatever I'm getting of those negative voices is a lie. Those negative ones are a lie. It's the exact opposite of what the truth is. So ask for the truth to be revealed to you. If you have a higher power, if you believe in God, if you want to pray about it, if you want to think about it, however you want to do that, ask for the truth to be revealed to you. So you put the negative, then I analyze, what are these about? I had a whole day of self-esteem and judgment, marriage and self-esteem and defeat. This was, I don't even know if this was a whole day. This might have only been 10 minutes. It was a bad day, right? That these were coming down. So once those are locked in the book, right? This is over, this part, and I've analyzed them, I can write a new story. Because now I know that the opposite, if I think I'm a bad mom, or I had a really strong belief that I could not be a good businesswoman and a good wife, so if I succeed too much in my business, I'll lose my marriage. That's a tough belief. How can I build a business if I'm choosing between my business and my marriage? There are many of your teammates who are struggling with similar problems. They're concerned that maybe they can't be a good mom or a good dad and build a business because of everything else that they're required to do at this time. So help them to overcome this belief. So writing down the truth, then I am a great wife and an excellent business owner. I'm a powerful leader and a great wife. I just kept saying that over and over to myself. I wrote it down on paper. I pasted it up on my mirror. I took my oils. I don't know that much about chakras, but I know they exist. So I put oils on my chakras, right? That was what I knew to do. And I said those words. It took me about a month. I did it twice a day for about a month until I believed it. Until I believed something different. Like it's okay for me and it's good for me to be a good businesswoman and I'm a good wife. And even my husband, he's sorry he's sick today so he can't corroborate it, but he would agree. So, okay, so then you're going to repeat or listen to those words regularly. Put yourself on a schedule to do that. This is important to get that junk out and turn it into what is true. I don't know why we have that. Oh yeah, that's why. Words, thoughts, spoken and written, plus emotion. When you put that emotion into it, what's the emotion that you're attaching to your words? Are you putting in I feel like I'm walking through mud up to my chest? I felt that way. I believe that. I actually told people that. I said that. Or I'm patching walls continually on my submarine. We're gonna die. Yeah, lots of emotion there, but you can change that. What if we have a different emotion? Which is the story that I wrote than I was mad that I wrote. Funny how all those emotions work in there, but you can train. You can train your emotions, you can train your elephant. You can turn it into something else because that creates the power that you need to change your story, change your life. Yes. So your vision is what your picture looks like in your story. That's your visualizing. We all visualize whether we know it or not. Your motivation has to do with the why. Why do you want this? Why is it important to you? Rod and Seth teach us this with our very first 7 days in the business when we're writing. Why is this important to us? Add emotion. Make it even better. Put that emotion into it. And then, of course, there's action. Action is required for anything to start happening. You have to do stuff. Like, you can't just sit on the couch and put oils on. But you can sit on the couch and put oils on. If that's the best action that you can do, start with that. Then you'll start to be inspired, and you'll start to be able to move forward with the things that you want. And you'll be able to put that plan together. Okay, we're going to write our doTERRA story. Pull out your paper. You need a paper and a pencil or a pen. This will take you 1 minute. This is your story, your current doTERRA story, the way it is. What does it look like? Sometimes it's easier to see what we don't want, so you can make a list of what we want first. Tell us your first doTERRA story. We actually are not going to share these. What is your current story? How do people respond to you? Is it hard or is it easy to find people who want to work with you or who are interested in learning more about doTERRA? Is it hard or easy? Write your story. We're going to give you like 45 more seconds, which I don't have a clock, so I have no idea what that is. Good idea. I have 45 seconds or whatever, 30, 22. Sorry. You're on. Okay, like 10 more seconds to finish up your story. If you're starting to feel emotion come up, that's good, because you got some stuff going on, and it's good, because you're going to be able to put that in your black book, right? Oh, we're waiting now for the batteries to come out.
Okay, so did you notice how quickly that story came out? This is the story you believe. This is the one that you already believe. Now, ask yourself, what do we do? Stick the hearing aid in. Ask yourself the question, is that what you want? Look at your story. Is that what you want? If yes, keep telling yourself that story. If no, stop saying that story. Let's write a new story. Okay? If you're not happy with the way your doTERRA business is right now you're aware. So there's no judgment here. And this is super important too. Be nice to you. Just because you believe that doesn't mean you're bad. It means that you believe that. That's all it means. If you want something different, you can believe something different. And so now you can tweak it. You can tweak your story just like we talked about with the Black Journal training. You can now write it the way you want it. So I'll give you 2 minutes this time because it takes a little more effort to write what you want. So look at your old story, cross out the parts you don't want, and rewrite them. the way you wish it were, but I want you to tell the story as if the way you wish it were already is. Does that make sense? Okay. If your story's already perfect, keep it. I should have put writing music in here, huh? That would have been cool. The last oil in the blend, I'm going to start passing around. This is white fir. This one is to help unearth the negative patterns. It's the oil of generational healing. So this unearths negative patterns from the hidden recesses of the body and the soul. As they are brought to the light of consciousness, they can be dealt with and put to rest. White fir, it's in your emotional healing book, if you have that book. If you don't, they sell them downstairs. It's to unearth negative patterns from the hidden recesses of the body and the soul. As they are brought to the light of consciousness, they can be dealt with and put to rest. This also helps to break destructive family patterns, which I don't know of any family that doesn't have any destructive family patterns that have come through the generations. The history of the people on the earth is, we've been here a long time. We've been messing stuff up, right? We've been getting things right too. Okay, so now you have your new story. This is the one, you can record it. You can listen to it while you run your diffuser. So we're going to get hearing. You just wrote it, so you got that kinesthetic piece going on. You're going to smell oils, which I'm passing around that last one. And you have all the other ones that we have. And so really the only one that we didn't do, you can see it, right? You can see because you wrote it. The only one we didn't do is taste it. So I don't really know how to do that. Don't lick your paper. That would be weird. Lick your hand with all the oils, right? Okay. Rosemary, you know me. Okay, quick. You got it? Okay, the last thing I'm going to leave you with. Which one wins? You've heard the story told of the grandfather, the Indian grandfather. He tells the story to his grandson. There are two wolves. They're fighting inside of you. One of them is revengeful, is angry, is ugly, is hateful, murderous. The other one is love, peace, joy, kindness, goodness, generosity, sharing. The little grandson's eyes got wide as the grandfather talked about the two, and he said, Grandpa, or grandfather probably, right? He's an Indian. Which one wins? Which one wins? And the wise grandfather said to him, the one that you feed. The one that you feed. Which one do you choose? We'll give you back to this slide. This is your choice. You have the opportunity to choose. And I hope that you will choose to uplift and encourage and inspire. And so I'm going to pass the last three oils, which are not part of the blend. This is totally separate. But this is motivate, cheer, and passion to encourage, uplift, and inspire you to do the work that it takes to change your story, to change your life. Thank you.
Isn't she awesome? We are so blessed by Brenda. Okay. Thank you. That was awesome. Okay, so our final speaker is Kelly Anderson. Matt and Kelly Anderson are Presidential Diamonds, and they have been sharing doTERRA for 7 years all over the world. this is a really awesome bio, so I want to share all of it with you. They lead a large organization, including the EDGE team, and have over 90,000 members. Isn't that astounding? They're lifting and liberating tens of thousands, almost 100,000. Their overall volume is 4.5 million on a monthly basis. Yeah. Kelly's favorite tips are to enroll leaders who enroll leaders and include God in your decisions. The Andersons have 3 kids and live in Heber, Utah. They recently returned from living abroad in Mexico and before that Indonesia. They also love serving a year as entrepreneurs in residence at BYU Hawaii. So if you can give a warm welcome to Kelly Anderson. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. I'm super excited to be here. How do I turn on the PowerPoint? Okay. So I would love to know, raise your hand how long you've been in doTERRA. Let's just go by like longer than a month. Raise your hand. Okay, keep it raised. Longer than 6 months. Longer than a year. 2 years. 3 years. 4 years. 5 years. 6 years. 7 years. Okay. So I actually think, Yvonne, when did you sign up? You signed up before me. The day that opened, awesome. I signed up on October, I believe it was like 18th, if I can remember, 2009. Did anyone sign up before that date besides me and Yvonne? No? Okay, awesome. Stand up if you're a diamond. I want to know. So we have Seth is a diamond. Actually, he's a blue diamond. Anyone else is a diamond? Awesome. Okay, so raise your hand if you want to be a diamond. Yay! Okay, awesome. That's why we're here, right? So my presentation is called Creating Massive Action, and I'm guessing because you're in these seats, diamond is something you would desire. Yes? Okay. Awesome. So you want to be a diamond. Why do you want to be a diamond? Raise your hand. This is very interactive, so yes. Freedom. Okay, what else? Yes? Yeah, go ahead. Oh. Yay! Be with family. Yes.
It's a platform to serve more.
Yes. Yes. Anyone else? Okay. So those are really great things, right? So do you agree our compensation plan rocks? I had to laugh when I saw this because this is like a joke, but actually it's not, because our compensation plan is that amazing, right? So if you look at my monthly income, I'm making about $18,000 a week, and I'm really happy about that. But the thing is that I don't actually have to clock in anywhere. Isn't that great? So this part-time job thing doesn't even have to exist if you don't want it to, because in doTERRA land, you could take a month off. You can, and no one is there going to call you and say you didn't show up to work. So we are so lucky. So if this is something that you are aspiring to, it's okay to own it. Raise your hand if you want to be wealthy. I love it. It's awesome. So in my former company, I think my highest generating personal take-home pay, it was a company that I created and did and everything, was around $20,000 in a year. Okay, so to triple that in a month is just insane and just beyond my wildest dreams. But this isn't something that's just for me. Does anyone know how many diamonds are in doTERRA or those numbers? It's like 400 plus diamonds now. And blue diamonds is, let's just say 75, and presidentials is around 40 or something like this. So that's a lot of people in our company that are making amazing incomes, right? So we're just focusing on diamond because as you strategize towards diamond, you will have the right structure for, silver, gold, platinum, which are all wonderful additional income streams. So my question is, why aren't you one already? Okay, I'm gonna be super bold, because I have friends who go diamond in a year, like on our team, right? And that's because they've decided something. They decided that they were going to take massive action. And when I interviewed multiple of them at a leadership retreat, I was just astounded. They all had the same answer. I took massive action, right? And so when I thought about every time I rank advanced, it was because for a 2 or 3 month period, not very long, 2 or 3 month period, I worked my buns off. Is that a long time? No, it's not a long time. But if you were to work your buns off for 2 to 3 months, I'm talking like 60 plus hours a week, you would rank advanced really, really, really fast. If you don't want to go that quick, no problem. Take the slower road. But if you want to go quick, it takes a lot of work, a lot of time. So numbers don't never lie. Are you enrolling? Be honest with yourself. If you haven't enrolled anyone in the last month, it's time. It's time to open your mouth and get some samples out there and get people on your team. How many people in your organization are on LRP? Do you know this answer? Good. I hope you know this answer. How many people are dropping their LRP every month? Do you know that answer too? Because those are the people you want to reach out to and just say, hey, I just wanted to see, how you're doing. Are you liking the products that we have? How can I help you to get the maximum benefit of your membership? Are you having regular mentor calls? How many samples are you giving away? I love this one. Don't stop doing what you tell others to do, right? We've got to take the action. And the moment you stop doing the basics, then your business plateaus. So that is all quoted from Rich Higbee. And he gave that at Leadership Retreat in Orlando. And I loved it. Raise your hand if you heard Rich speak. Several of you. Awesome. So he was really bold. And he said, we're going to have a crucial conversation. There's no more, why am I not progressing? It's this stuff, right? It's this stuff. So my other question is, are you hungry? Because those who are really going for it, they have a reason to get up in the morning and get going with their doTERRA business. And maybe you're not hungry. Maybe you really don't need an extra $1,000 a month, or maybe you don't need an extra $3,000 a month. But what would that do for your community or your cause or for your opportunities of life, right? So how will your life change when you are a diamond? And if you were never a diamond, how would your life be different? Those are the questions that the EDGE team recommends you ask yourself, right? Like, what would happen if your dream never came about? Does that cause pain for you? I don't want to die with my music still in me, is a quote from Wayne Dyer. And that's how I live. Ever since I was, 3 years old, I decided I wanted to live life to the fullest, right? And so that's why I'm way into travel and dreams and seizing the day. If my kids want to go to an amazing class, let's figure out how to do it, right? Let's not say no. Let's figure out how or when or, what are the steps? And so I hope you guys live like that too. So here's the truth. It is A Course in Miracles. And if you haven't figured that out yet already, it's time now. Because I've never experienced anything more challenging for personal growth than becoming a presidential diamond. And every step along the way is just filled with growth opportunities. Raise your hand if you agree. Yes! So if you're silver, did you experience what I'm talking about? Yes. If you're gold, you did too. And it just keeps going and going and going, right? So this is a picture of us in Bali when I made a little sign that says, we are blue, May 31st or sooner. So I made that in January, and I had it by our bedroom. Well, I took that picture in March 31st on the day we hit Blue Diamond. So I love the or sooner part, right? And I'll tell you how this happened. So I was at leadership, and this was March 2000. It would have been 14. I was leadership in Arizona, and I was talking to some team members of mine who were under Heather Matter, who is a Blue Diamond on our team. And Heather was the first of all the people on our team to hit Blue Diamond. And I was like so happy for her and celebrating her. But then part of me was like, I want to be Blue Diamond. It's time, right? Because she's actually my frontline leader. And awesome, right, to have your team, beat you or whatever to the race. But I was just like taken back. Like, what was it about Blue Diamond that intimidated me or scared me or overwhelmed me? Well, I was living in Bali, which was a great excuse not to build my business, right? Because it's not open, first of all. And second of all, it's such a healing environment that it wasn't like really inspiring me to take massive action. And it was a dream for us to live there, and we were really grateful. But at the same time, I had to be realistic and honest with myself that I really wanted to grow and I really wanted to progress, but I needed to take the steps necessary. So what I did was I got back from leadership. A friend of mine had put in my head there, what would it take to go Blue Diamond with ease, grace, and glory? And I was like, that sounds fun, right? Instead of, for me, it was, what would it take in my head was, what would it take to go Blue Diamond like by lugging mountains. You know what I mean? Like, it was a completely different feel. And she's like, ease, grace, and glory. Like, that's how it can be. I'm like, wow, I've never experienced it that way, And I had the structure. I had all of the pieces in place. There was just about, 10,000 volume that we needed to kind of figure out. And so I came back from leadership, and because this was already in my mindset, ease, grace, and glory, right? This friend of mine approached me like the day I returned from leadership to Bali. It was a long flight, right? She's like, you didn't tell me why you were going to America. And I'm like, well, yeah, I went to a leadership training for doTERRA, my company. And she's like, you never told me that those bottles you were sampling was a business. And I was like, well, I didn't mention it because like we can't do it here, And it wouldn't be supported. She goes, but you didn't recognize that like I love this. And I would love to do this with you. And I need additional income. And she just like cornered me about it. Like, are you going to help me do this? I'm like, okay, well, let's get creative, right? And so we had to look at an out of the box kind of thinking because we're living in a place where doTERRA would not support shipping. So we did a couple of classes and she went premier in 60 days. And how it happened was we had to go to Australia and get product and bring it back, or we had people bring it from the US. And it was great, but at the time, I wasn't really willing to think like that because I was just, it seems difficult, right? I'm just here to like vacation basically, and then support my team from phone and internet and things like that. But there was work to be done, and there were people to serve, and I was limiting what could be for them, right? By not opening my mouth. So within, so let's say I got back on March 15th. By March 31st, we were able to create the Blue Diamond because of this lady showing up and saying, I've lived here for 5 years. I have all these contacts that people trust me. I'm the principal's wife, and I am a nurse, and people listen to me. And I'm like, you're right. And so we were able to have her step in such a powerful way that it was able to be done. And when I saw myself pushing, this big boulder up the mountain, or the thought was just ask the mountain to be removed, right? And so that's what it was for me. I just had the mountain be removed, and we were Blue Diamond in 2 weeks. And so I was like, how is this? The mindset is such a powerful piece, right? Because if we're thinking it's hard work and sweaty and laborious, that is just not fun, right? Ease, grace, and glory, right? And giving God the credit. So yeah, it's hard work too. So I love this quote: being an entrepreneur is hard, being an employee is hard. Choose your hard, right? I don't want to be an employee of anyone. I don't want my husband to be an employee of anyone, right? Either way, you need to show up. So one of my best friends is Tiffany Peterson. You guys know her? Awesome. She's so great. So she has this quote like, you don't create $1 million dreams on $10 effort, right? And that's exactly what we're doing here with doTERRA. So, number 1, stop complaining right now. Okay? Go 24 hours without complaining, not even once. Then watch how your life starts changing. So, I am sick and tired of hearing people say why they cannot progress, right? Your excuses do not serve you anymore. If you are not the rank you desire to be, it is your problem. It is nobody else's problem. I don't care about your team because you can recruit and enroll and train someone in like a week, right? So you don't need to allow yourself to be stopped anymore. It is a lie you've been telling yourself because you're not willing to do the work. Okay? It's true. It's true. So raise your hand if you're willing to stop lying to yourself about why you can't be a diamond. Thank you so much. Because I expect this room to be full of diamonds next time I come. There's no reason why there should be only me and Seth in this room as a diamond. Okay? Is anyone a platinum right now? Yay, congratulations. 2, 3 platinums. Great. When are you going to be diamond? Oh my gosh, not a good answer. When are you going to be diamond? When you stop lying. Okay, but I want to know a date. On or before what? That's too far away. That's too far away. Too far away. Anything is possible. Okay, you think about it and let me know a real answer. When is yours? On or before what? Which is? Is that too far away? You feel into that because I would love to see both of you walk at convention. Okay. So plan for success. This is number 1. Get clear about your dreams and tell the world. Write it down. Tell everyone. Okay, this is huge. So last year in March, we were also looking towards presidential. And I was not planning on it that much. Again, it was after leadership. We're all feeling all inspired, right? And my husband looked at the volume and he saw that we were about $18,000 away, or 18,000 volume away from hitting presidential. So he called me and I was in Boston, he was in Mexico, and he said, I think we should do it. We had 4 days to create the 18,000 on our team. And I said no, and because I knew that I'm the sales girl. He's like the add up the numbers person. And he does a ton of other support, right, with our kids. But it comes down to selling that much, it's me and my team, right? And it's all the people that we're working on. And I just didn't have like the energy and the desire at that moment. But something was really important because he saw what I didn't see and he helped hold the space that it was possible. And I really appreciated that because if we had missed this opportunity, I wouldn't be presidential right now. So what happened was he said, well, I'm feeling really strongly that we should go for it. It's within reason. I think your team's all fired up from leadership, and I think that we should just say yes. And I said, okay, great, but we're going to pray about it first, because if it's God's idea, I will go for it. But if it's your idea, I'm going to say no. I needed God to open the door, right? Because once God says yes, then what power do I have behind me? There is nothing I cannot ask him to do, right? So if he says yes, that means I've got 100,000 angels on my side lining up all of the sales, and I've got the absolute certainty that it will happen. So when we prayed about it over the phone, it was like, yes, Deep Blue promo is on your side. That's why all the volume's so high right now. It's not going to be like this next month, right? And so we just held open that opportunity and stepped off the cliff, basically, and said, God, make this happen. And then we worked our buns off, right? So the first thing I did was tell all of the presidentials, I am going to be presidential in 4 days. And if you tell people of your next rank where you're going to be and when you're going to be, guess what? It holds you accountable, right? And so that's what I did is I messaged Haley Hobson. I messaged like tons of people. I said, I'm going to do this in 4 days. And they're like, well, how far are you? And I told them, they're like, good luck, you know? But I loved what they said. You can do it. Because when you believe and you decide, you can do it. But you have to have that powerful belief and that confidence that you're going to have that yes. And so I'm a really, really big believer that you need to have a team of support. And I wouldn't have been able to do it because I was texting those people and asking them, well, what ideas do you have? What are the resources that I should be offering my team right now? What incentives should I do? And here it is. What is the worst part that could happen? Okay, what if we didn't make it? Do you think I would have been embarrassed? Not really, because they would have been like, you know what? You went for it. Good job. And you'll get it again, right? That's the worst that would have happened. Okay, so you have to go through the scenario. What's the worst that's going to happen if you say I'm going to go silver and you don't make it? You might have still built a new leg. Like, it's not a problem, right? There's not a disappointment there. And then you've got to schedule it, and then I'm big into time blocking. And so if you're going to do calls, you need to schedule it, and you may need a buddy to tell, hey, we're going to do calls from 10 to 2 today, and we're going to both do it at the same time. I'm in New York, and you're in Chicago. Doesn't matter. We're on the phone at the same time. We're texting each other. We're holding each other accountable to doing this, right? And then no matter what, be unstoppable. Like, once you decide, you've already told everyone you're going to do the marathon, right? They know you're going to go do the marathon. You have to show up. You have to run the race. You have to finish, right? You don't stop at 4 p.m. on the last day of the month. You go until midnight, until it's done, okay? And that's what it is. And in my case, multiple times, when I'm hitting a new rank, that's when all the sales are coming. That last day, everyone knows the deadline, right? That's when it's coming. When we went diamond, a friend of mine asked me to babysit her 3 kids so that she could go to the doctor. And I'm like, that is not a good day. It's the last day of the month. And I'm trying to go diamond. But it was like this overwhelming feeling, like, do it. Serve this girl. Serve her. And while I did, holding her baby, watching these little kids, we did $4,600 in sales, including a diamond kit. I was like, don't pick up your kids, please. I want them here, right? Because when you're serving people and you're giving of your time, even if it has nothing related to your business, it's like the angels are like, oh my gosh, she's so serious about this. We're going to make up the difference, right? But if I had said no to her, I bet it would have been a different story that day, you know? And so I'm really grateful for those opportunities. And the more you serve without an expectation, the more it blesses you. So I'm really big into daily accountability. This is what I have my frontline leaders that are trying to rank send me every single day. What is your win of the day? Something nice you did for yourself. Because if you haven't heard Tiffany's Peterson's stuff on self-care, like, it's really true. Like, if you're not taking care of yourself, going to exercise or having a green drink or doing some meditation, you're going to feel burnt out. And we don't want to get to that finish line like, a battered person. We want to feel rejuvenated and excited. And what's the tomorrow's focus and updated volume on each leg? And the volume piece, I don't have them do necessarily every day, but a few times a week at least, because I want them to be checking their back office, recognizing where their holes are, and then working hard. So how many of you know the edge questions, right? I'm not going to review them, but you know them. Like, who will I share oils with today? Who has attended a class I will follow up with? So these are the core principles of basic building strategy, right? Doing the basics, getting out there. And then here is what I mentor on. This is straight up edge right here. What are you most excited about in your doTERRA business? Is there anything you feel is holding you back in your doTERRA business? What do you want to accomplish in the next week? How many people have you taught in the last week? How many enrollments have you had in the last week? How many membership overviews have you done in the last week? How many business overviews have you done in the last week? So Sarah Jansen, who is almost presidential, she's awesome. She does this. And she was telling me this is exactly how she mentors, and this is how I'm mentoring now. Because if we're not asking people for their numbers, they have to get honest with themselves about the lie that they're telling themselves, that they're doing their business and they're really not. So most people are doing their business by hanging out in Facebook groups, honestly. That is not progressing your business. So shut down the internet, get on the phone, and pretend like the internet doesn't exist except to check your numbers. Like, that's it. Unless you need to contact people on there. But it's such a distraction for people that they're not doing the actual work, right? And so I'm committing to these things because I want to solidify Presidential. I want to help our team to grow. I want to have an additional 40 diamonds this year on our team. That would be like amazing, right? But it's not going to happen unless people actually enroll people and get people to be on LRP and get people to actually do their membership overviews, right? And all of that. So here's some building momentum tips, and this is where we're going to spend the rest of our time here. So remind me what the 6311 is. Do you know it? The 6 questions. And convention, right? Isn't, yeah. What's the 3 again? It's the three weekly agendas. Seth, tell us what that is exactly. There you go. So that's what is the basic building momentum strategy. Number 1, if you're not doing those things, then get to that, right? Raise your hand if you were at leadership and did the tech splits. Okay, so I'm just, let's see, who hasn't shared today? Raise your hand again so I can see. Ruby, would you come up and just share with everybody about what the tech split is and like what you experienced at leadership or maybe otherwise about how powerful this is? Awesome.
Okay, so I was at Florida at the leadership convention.
You need both, actually. Yeah, because one's recording.
So I was at in Florida at the leadership convention. The blitz was absolutely amazing. What she said is in the next 5 minutes, and there was, I believe, 3,000 people in the room, something around that. And she said, next 5 minutes, I want you to text or call somebody and ask them to do a class for you. And the energy in the room was huge because everyone said, okay, I'm going to do it, because there was a time pressure in a sense. And so people started doing it. And then she asked us, when you have somebody register or say that they'll do a class for you, stand up. People started popping up within minutes. It was amazing. Now, here's the amazing part of it for me, is that they gave us until the next day at noon, and they were going to reward us for that. You will absolutely be stunned when you find out the number that someone got at the end of it. Do you want to know? 158 classes scheduled during that blitz time for that 24-hour period that they had. So it's truly possible. I sent a message out to my team. Doing that, the energy that you get from that was amazing. So that was the blitz. Mm-hmm.
Thanks. So I've been doing the blitz for about a year with different teams. And hold on a second. And I love it because even if it's just you and a buddy, like it doesn't have to be a whole group, right? Or a whole room of people. Yeah, thank you. I think I did. Okay. It just creates so much energy and enthusiasm. But the tech splits doesn't have to be just for booking classes. It could be for booking how many people can book the most membership overviews or business overviews, or it could be how many people can get, the most people could get out samples. It could be for any purpose. So you decide the purpose and then go from there. So I'm doing a challenge right now on one of my teams called 31 Samples in 31 Days. And this has been a really, really great one because most people aren't thinking that kind of number in a month. They're thinking maybe 2 a week or 3 a week or 1. And so this forces them to open their mouth and get oils into more hands. So what we do is we're telling them to get the oils out by the 15th of the month, and then they have 2 weeks to follow up and close and invite them to make a Facebook class or a Zoom class or something like that. And you can make, like I have a thing right now where if they do this, then they get entered into a drawing to win an emotions kit. So like whatever it is, but make it so that there is some fun and people are sharing in the group. Like, oh, I've done 10 or I've done, so it kind of brings everybody up, right? Okay, I have a gift for you guys with my 6 weeks to a new rank challenge. And I'm just gonna pass these out, thanks. Hopefully there's one for everyone. If not, I can mail you one. But so I created this based on how I've always rank advanced was in 6 week spurts. So I find that 6 weeks is the perfect amount of time to focus hard and get some results. So the first 2 weeks, as you'll see in the little booklet, please don't look at it now because I want to focus on my presentation. But if you want to be in the Facebook group for this, it's starting again on Monday. So contact me and I'll add you to the group, and you can add anyone you want to the group. But 2 weeks, so from March 14th to March 31st, you're planning and organizing your events for April. 2 weeks of planning and organizing. And of course, you're going to finish up your month, obviously, how you were going to anyways in March. But just in your mind, it helps you to have a really great April, right? And then as soon as April 1st comes, you actually have your full calendar planned, right, for April. And you are ready to go because you're not wondering on April 1st, well, who should I teach this month? Who should host me this month? How should we, plan? It's like, no. If you're not set up already by April 1st, you're way behind because then you're not even organized until like April 13th. And so that's why I think most people are not ranking is because they're not planning for a success in their month, right? So you can look at that. Also, my 6 week challenge is about positive mindset and belief and just holding that opportunity there of what's possible. And then it goes right along with EDGE because if you're not doing the 6 questions a day, you're not going to know what to do, right? So get organized and then start executing. Accountability partners, I can't say more about this. I love accountability partners that are your same rank going for the same goal. Personally, that's my favorite because then you are pushing each other. So my accountability partner right now is Sarah Jansen. And this is true story. I asked her, okay, how many personal enrollments are you going to have this month? Well, first of all, I told her my goal. So my goal was to have 6 personal enrollments. And then I asked her hers, and she said 18 to 25. And I was like, oh, my word. Okay, you're amazing. And I just had to stop and go, no wonder this girl's where she's at, right? So she is such a high enroller that she has power to put those enrollments where she needs them. And she goes, well, I just know that if I'm going to go for presidential, that's what it's going to take. And I'm like, amazing, jaw-dropping, right? And she's for real. She's done it before. Her highest month ever was 54 enrollments in 1 month. Yeah, she's for real. I've seen her. That's how I got to know her because I kept seeing her in the top enrollers of the month. I'm like, who is this girl? She's insane, right? But she is so powerful and her belief is so strong. She's like, I declare, I receive. Like, that's her mindset. There's no question if she'll get it. She just will. She decided. And so she opens her mouth. She contacts old people. And so she's actually behind right now. I don't know how many she has, but she's like, I'm behind because I was sick for 2 weeks. But she's like, oh, well, I'm just going to work harder. She's fine. It's amazing. So I love accountability partners, same rank, and also groups for leaders of same rank. So I'm in a group, again, with Blues going for presidential. There's probably 20 people in there. And we just talk about what challenges we have and what's going on and what we need. And then people who are that rank kind of hover and stay in there too. So if you are going to silver, then I would find some other people that are going for the same thing who are super motivated, right? Super motivated. And they are just committed, unstoppable commitment. and you link arms and say, we're going to get there together. And you're going to cheer each other, and you're going to help each other, and it's going to be way more fun than if your mentor is a diamond. Because the diamond person, as much as they're going to cheer for you, they're not feeling the same pains as you, right? And so it's really great, I think, to find people in your same level to help each other. I mean, it's definitely to keep talking to all your uplines, but this is my thing. And Diamond Club. Raise your hand if you've been in Diamond Club. Yay! It's so powerful. If you're into it, go all out. If you're thought about doing it, consider it. It can be a great momentum driver. Holly, what would you say for you about Diamond Club? Awesome. Yeah, really hard. But was it worth it? Totally worth it. Most people at Diamond Club will have no regrets, right? Because it forces them to get out of their comfort zone. What is the Smile and Dial party? I alluded to it before. That's when you set a time for your team to contact people at a certain time in the week. So I had one with my friend this week for 2 hours. We set a time together. We got on the phone together. I said, how many people are you going to call in the next 2 hours? She asked me. We called them. We were accountable. At the end, I'm like, what was your results? You know, we talked to each other about this. I've done this with 18 people at once. It is so inspiring for people because when you're frozen or you're stuck, it's getting on the phone that makes a difference, right? It really is. This, at the end of the day, we have to have conversations with people, right? So if you're not having a conversation with someone, where are you at with your business? Or would you like to host a class? Or would you like to consider LRP? It's the phone. We can't always drive to people's house. So get really, really comfortable with the phone and encourage your team to do it at the same time if you need a buddy. I need buddies. I think it really helps. And then time blocking, as I mentioned before. Like if you know you're going to schedule events from 10 to 12, like hold yourself to it. If you need a buddy to say, hey, I'm going to go book 6 events in the next 2 hours, do it. You know, whatever you need to do. So hopefully those are some ideas. Again, if you like that that little booklet I handed out, I can get you more if you need them for your team. Okay, so the big thing is show up to serve, right? Remember that you thrive as you help others to thrive, and your success hinges on their success. And so ultimately your rank is so is such a fun reward for you, right? But it's so rewarding because you're helping them to bust through their limiting beliefs, to help them to get their goals. And that's what the real joy is. So I love this quote by Joel Osteen. I'm not sure how to say it, but he has a great book called Breakout. Raise your hand if you read it. It's such a good book, and this is in there. He says, you need to get ready, not for a trickle, not a stream, not a river, but a flood of God's favor, a tidal wave of God's goodness, a tsunami of his increase. God is going to take you to a level that you've never seen before. It will be unprecedented. You will go farther and quicker than you've ever dreamed. And I love this because that is exactly what we get to stand in, that flow of abundance in our lives. And financially, doTERRA gives us that power to experience a tsunami, a flood. But we can't receive it if we're just holding out a little thimble and saying, God, fill my cup. I just want a thimbleful, right? No, I want to be knocked down. I want to be like in the ocean, so overwhelmed by his power, by his glory, by his grace, and what is possible. And doTERRA is that vehicle. Stand up if you believe that. Yes! It is the vehicle for massive change in your life. Feel what you're feeling right now and decide, is it worth it? It is worth it. Yes. Do it. It is waiting for you. And it is time to stand strong and no more excuses, because I don't want to see this room wondering anymore if it's for them or not. It is for you. You just have to decide and do the work. That's it. It's been given to you. It is a gift, and it is yours. Thank you.
I love Kelly's authenticity and her transparency. I love how she is real, and it brings so much energy to the space. I love it. Okay, so Seth Resume would like to say a few words before we close, and then after his comments, we will do the raffle. So Seth, if you'll come up here. While you're coming up here, I want to announce next month on April 9th, I believe. It's the second Saturday of every month that we will be here at Aroma Tools. Ann Washburn will be speaking. And Ann Washburn is a Jack Canfield trainer, and she will be speaking on, She will be speaking on body language and how you can use that to in your presentations and things like that. So Seth, resume.
The dates again?
Second Saturday in April.
So I just had an opportunity. I went over to Australia and got back last week, and I learned a lot, and I just wanted to share with you just a couple thoughts, things sometimes I think we forget. So the first thing is one of the diamonds on my team, he's Australian, his wife is Irish, and so they're a big reason why I travel around the world. One of the things that he said is he goes, sometimes you look at people who reach certain ranks and you think that they get there so fast, and some of them do. I met a couple in Australia who went Presidential Diamond in 2 years. It's been 2 years since I went Blue Diamond. So after I hit Blue Diamond, they joined and went Presidential. And frankly, part of that's because I've really been enjoying Blue Diamond. But why hit the ranks if you're not taking time to enjoy it? But the reason I bring this up is because I also know people who have worked extremely hard for years to hit silver, and so forth. And Adam said something that I have taken that I've really contemplated on since. He said, there are laws of success that all of us have to understand and learn. And either that learning comes before doTERRA or in doTERRA. And there's a reason why certain people get into doTERRA and they flourish from the start. And they go from 0 to diamond in a short amount of time, and then to blue and to presidential and beyond. Why did Wes and Haley Hobson become double presidential in the time that they did? How did they do that? They grew before they ever got to doTERRA, so that when they came, doTERRA was there for them. And the only reason I say that is because it does you no good to compare yourself to what other people are doing. The only thing that matters is if you compare yourself to how you did last month or the week before or the year before. Are you progressing? That's what matters. All of the laws of success that you're going to have to learn do come at a pretty hard in a hard way, through hard lessons that most people quit over. But if you can learn through those lessons, then you will achieve the goal. You will. It's just a matter of time. And so trust the process. The journey is hard, but it is absolutely necessary. No one is reaching high levels of success without learning those lessons, either before doTERRA or in doTERRA. Does this make sense? So one of the things that I'm learning, I also learned from another couple over there, Vanessa. This couple that went Presidential Diamond in 2 years, she got up there and she described the oils with so much love that I honestly thought she was having a love affair with the oils. She actually pulled out frankincense and lovingly referred to it as Frankie Boy the whole time. Like, I get a little cup of fractionated coconut oil and I add in a few drops of peace. And then I add a little bit of Frankie Boy because he always makes it better. And then she's describing how she applies it. And she goes, and every morning I get up and I take this cup full of this fractionated coconut oil with this, and I get out of the shower. And she's describing how she dresses herself aromatically every morning. I sat there just kind of going, I have never seen someone in love with the oils to that level, ever. It caused me a lot of reflection. In fact, I sat there thinking, it would be impossible to say no to her. It'd be impossible. The way she describes the oils, it's like you have no doubt that not only did they work, but that they were people. And that she was having affairs with them, and her husband was okay with it. You know, I mean, it was that level of love. You know, I mean, Frankie Boy was just like, I mean, I thought Frankie Boy was real. I was almost convinced she's going to turn off and a genie was going to pop out or something. So anyway, look, I guess, but then her love for the oils and the product was one thing. But then her love for her team exceeded anything that I've ever shown to mine. She actually described her downline, or as I describe it, my team. That's how I describe it, my team, right? She describes her team as her tree of love. Now, this is really difficult for me to go into this realm. I'm a man. I like to do manly things. But she described her team as a tree of love, and I said, how do you place people? I was asking her, she and her husband had some awesome strategies on how to place. And you know how they placed? Where in my team would this person receive the most amount of love and acceptance? I'm sitting here thinking, whenever I place people, where do I need PV, and how could I? No. She didn't even care about that. Like, where can I place them so that they can receive love? I just sat there in total awe. I felt like when I flew over there to Australia, that I said, if all I heard was what she had to say, this was worth the entire trip for me. It was because she expressed and showed so much love. And I think that's one of the things that we never talk about that much, but there is another part of doTERRA. Yes, it does provide healing and wellness, right? Yes, it does provide financial healing as well. But on the other hand, it also provides a circle of friends, of a community of people that love, respect, and honor one another. And that is what is greatly missing in the world today. I mean, I don't know if any of you are watching any of this political stuff that's going on right now, but the amount of anger in the world right now is astounding. I can't believe how much. And so when you just provide an atmosphere of love, that is how a couple goes from 0 to presidential diamond in 2 years. Is they absolutely love. Then we're all part of, at least on Kelly's team, I'm on Kelly's team, but also we're a part of Natalie and Andy's team. Natalie and Andy are love. They embody love. And that's why they are the largest team. No matter what their rank is, I'm pretty sure their check is about as big, if not the biggest in the company. It's the biggest. So they're not even double presidential and all this stuff, but their team is so enormous. Because why? Not because Andy and Natalie stand up here and wow us with their incredible ability to speak. They wow us by their incredible capacity to love. They just love constantly. And so I just wanted to, again, I wanted to share with you just one more last thought, and then I'll be done. And that is one of my favorite hymns is "Have I Done Any Good?" If you ever are sitting there thinking on any given morning, okay, I have the 631, who do I need to invite to a class for one-on-one, blah, 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 you know what I mean? Or you could take some time and just think, how can I love my team more today? And ask the questions found in that hymn. Have I done any good in the world today? Have I helped anyone in need? Have I cheered up the sad or made someone feel glad? If not, I have failed indeed. Has anyone's burden been lighter today because I was willing to share? Have the sick and the weary been helped on their way? When they needed my help, was I there? There are chances for work all around just now, opportunities right in our way. Do not let them pass by, saying, sometime I'll try. But go and do something today. I think if we just remember the heart of the business, I think we sometimes wonder, how did doTERRA do what it did? And how does it continue to do what it does? It's the heart, it's the love, it's the willingness to serve and to bless other people's lives that make the business work and that make the work itself fun and enjoyable and full of love. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. It's something that I've had to relearn and that I want to try very hard to implement more and more in my business. And that's how I'm going to go presidential, is I'm going to create a tree of love and try to support my team the best that I can by using that hymn as my anthem for my team. So anyway, I hope that you find that helpful. We'll talk to you next month.